it's Jai452 here alongside the wonderful Jim Rose. He's going to be joining us today to answer some more questions about all things cosplay. Just before we get into the interview, I'd like to just say we're still having some relatively crappy weather here in the UK. So if we lose the feed, we will pause the recording and try and get it back as soon as possible. Equally so if we have any technical issues. So first off, I'd just like to say hi, Jim. Thank you for coming and taking time out to explain some of the things that people would come across in cosplay. And we hope that you enjoy your time with us just now.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
I'd like to start with, when did you first start cosplaying?
I think I first started cosplaying, I must have been about 6 maybe, because that's when I first started getting into comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. I think my first ever costume, I think it was for Christmas. My mum got me a little Spider-Man costume that I pretty much wore everywhere. If my mum was here right now, she would probably tell you that much like actual Spider-Man, Superman, all the superheroes, I would wear it underneath my school uniform and that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I got away with it for almost 3 months until one day it was like just starting for summer, actually passed out in the classroom, and of course they bring me off to the office and they start taking off all these layers I'm wearing just to reveal the Spider-Man suit. I'm like, you idiots! You've revealed my identity! I had some very proud parents that day.
So 6 years old, that's like the youngest that anyone's actually kind of said, like up until now. You mentioned about Superman and Spider-Man there. Are those the two kind of characters that inspired you to cosplay, or was there like a certain living individual that inspired you to cosplay?
I think I didn't start getting properly into I didn't really become aware of other cosplayers and stuff until I turned about 16, 17. So it was mostly other characters and stuff that inspired me. I think there's 4 characters that I would say are absolutely important to me and my absolute favorites. It's Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and controversially Aquaman as well. So.
Is there any famous cosplayer that you follow on social media that inspires you to cosplay?
I think my absolute cosplay hero is Rick Stafford, also known as the true Aquaman. Of course, by his title, he's most famous for doing various versions of Aquaman, things like that. And I think I emailed him a couple of times stuff, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. He does all this charity work, and he's got all these amazing costumes and stuff. And he's got such an eclectic repertoire and stuff. You know, he'll be Aquaman one day, and he's Star Wars the next day, Jim Gordon, something from Marvel. There's just so many different layers to the guy, and I always thought that was really inspiring.
Awesome. Does he still cosplay?
Yeah, he still cosplays to this day and stuff. I've been following him on Facebook since I think about maybe 3-4 years now. I think, which it sounds kind of creepy when I put it that way, but yeah, I'm a huge fan.
I don't think that sounds creepy. So, what has been the most challenging cosplay that you've ever either A, made, or B, done from an acting standpoint? Because a lot of people don't really tend to realise that sometimes when you're cosplaying, you need to act as that character.
I guess from an acting standpoint would probably be Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, because Gaston is he's not. A lot of people know who Gaston is, but he's not quite as iconic as say what's his name out of Frozen, or maybe even Zurg out of the Toy Story film. So I think the last time I took out Gaston was a children's hospital visit up in Glasgow for charity, and a lot of the people had no idea who I was. So when I started coming up and doing all the Gaston stuff, like, hey, feel those biceps, they're just like, is this what's this guy doing? He's being all cheeky and stuff. Yeah, the only time I managed to convince someone that I was in character was one of the gifts we were given to the kids happened to be a Beauty and the Beast colouring book. So I just pointed to a picture of Gaston, and I'm like, hey, who's that handsome devil? So, yeah. It's definitely the hardest one from an acting standpoint, is just to convince people that you're in character. I guess the hardest one, that I've ever made was probably Magneto, who I took to MCM Comic-Con, I think September 2015. I think mostly because that's definitely one of the most expensive ones that I've ever produced and stuff, and because it was the first one where I have to like make everything pretty much from scratch and stuff. Because originally I was planning on buying that just because I think it was Hello Cosplay UK, but the costume I looked at was absolute just like poor quality garbage, and it didn't even have the hell.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the end I thought, right, screw it, just put my own spin on that. So that was the hardest part, was just coming up with a unique look for it.
Okay, hold on just one teeny sec. I'm having a little bit of an issue here. Okay, and we're back. So, what has been like the most? You were talking about Magneto being the most challenging one from a creative standpoint. In what way?
Well, I guess in one way, probably just finding a unique look stuff, because originally I wanted to do something along the lines of Michael Fassbender, Ian McKellen. And then I thought, like, a lot of people do decide to do the films and that. Not many people are like being the comics these days. What was like, I love all the comic book movies and stuff, but I feel like everybody just cosplays as the movies and things like that. So I wanted to do something like different. So then I thought, like, why not try and maybe amalgamate the two of them? If I take the classic comic book color scheme of Magneto with the reds and the purples and stuff, but give it like the military-style coat of Ian McKellen, because Ian McKellen's one of my all-time favourite actors, so of course I wanted to pay tribute to that in some way.
He's like one of my favourite actors as well. Like
he's one of the absolute best.
I remember going to the Collectomania in 2015, roughly around August, and it was one of the few characters that I was surprised that we didn't actually see. Like, I never seen a Magneto or even a Gandalf. Like, I was like, oh, please let there be a Gandalf.
Gandalf's one of the best characters. So.
But nothing, so...
One of the things I actually liked about MCM Comic Con Glasgow is that I was the only one cosplaying as Magneto. So.
Which day did you go?
I went on both days, except I think on the Saturday I was Red Hood from Batman.
Like, honestly, if you were, I don't know what day the 22nd was, it probably was the Saturday. I was running around dressed as, like, a male Harley, and if you'd seen me, then obviously you seen me, but obviously I never seen you, because if I'd seen you dressed as Red Hood, I would have ran right up to you and gave you the biggest hug ever. I'd been like, Red Hood! So, yeah, I would kind of... I've dumbfounded you there.
Because I had a friend who was working at the comic table. She works for a company called Evolution Comics that you might have heard of. But yeah, her absolute favourite character of all time is the Red Hood. So I decided to dress as him, and then I would like go up to her table and like basically tease her and stuff. Now,
did you do it comic book wise or from the new video game Arkham Knight?
So. Again, kind of a mixture of both of them. More kind of comic book based and stuff, but I kind of added like my own kind of spin to it. I like to do that with all my cosplays and stuff. It's like pay homage to the comics, but try and make it look unique enough as well. Such as I had like the body armor underneath the jacket, and then I had like a big like red desert scarf, or a shemap, I think they're called.
Awesome. In your opinion, what is the most difficult thing or character to cosplay as?
The most difficult character to cosplay as. That's a good one, because there's, in my own opinion, it's probably Batman. I think.
Why so?
I think I've searched on the internet for like countless days trying to find like decent Batman masks, and I can never find one. And I think because Batman's so popular, I've always felt that there's a lot of pressure to do him justice and stuff like that. Like if you've got like even the tiniest detail off, and I know this isn't quite the case with most Comic-Cons over here, but there'll always be that one fanboy who's like, oh, no, like, his belt's at a slightly different angle than that, or no, that's the wrong bat signal, or your mask looks like rubbish, and stuff like that. So, okay.
I just, like, because I've got 2 cosplays planned for, like, one for this year and one for next year, and I'm raring for one of those, like, fanboy type people to come up to me and just go, oh, but this part of the costume's like totally wrong and you shouldn't be wearing it like that and blah blah blah. I can't wait for that so I can say, well, actually blah 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 blah.
I think like that is whenever I do go to con stuff, such as I've got what I need to help. Yeah, like as you see, I am because I don't make my own costumes. Like a lot of it's just bought. I just customize them mostly. So like, kind of my biggest fear is that some costume snob will come up to me and be like, "Oh, like you're not a real cosplayer because you don't make it all from scratch." Just like, yeah, because I don't have the time or the money to do that. And but
I've actually got a tip for you on that one, because like I'm useless with a needle and thread. Like, if you to give me a needle and thread and said, "Hey, Jai, can you knock me up a new pair of Batman-inspired trousers or Magneto cape," I would look at you and laugh, like, hysterically. But I would say to you, it's not a problem, because although I'm useless with actually making things from scratch, I know people who can, and who will charge a decent price. However, if you need makeup tips, I'm here for you, because I'm good with stage makeup. A little bit.
When it comes to makeup, I think I can do the Joker, and that's about it. I mean, I think you've probably seen my Facebook page stuff. All my makeup is mostly just Joker.
Joker, like, a lot of people, like, I've had other people, how would I do this makeup? And I always just, like, inside my head, always go towards the Joker makeup and think, right, there is your basis. How do you expand on that? Do you do something similar? Do you go to, like, a particular makeup style in your head and then expand on it?
So yeah, I definitely do that. I think I've always I've been trying to make a collage for years of my Joker makeup through the years. I think the first time I ever did the Joker, I think I was about 16 at a fancy dress party, and it was just like one very thin layer of like makeup and like some lipstick that I stole off my mum, very rubbishly applied, and it was also sunglasses because I didn't have any eyeliner, and I thought, no, the Joker needs to have dark eyes. And I just kind of like expanded on that and stuff, just adding more and more layers and stuff, and then like I even like experimented with different brushes and things like that. I would always like look up tutorials on the internet like that. And I've got a friend who's like the most talented makeup artist that I know, so I just like asked her for tips and stuff. But,
that's what I did. One of my friends is actually a professional makeup artist as well. Sorry, I had a phone there. And she, I always say to her, do you mind if I borrow this? Do you mind if I borrow that? I'm surprised she hasn't actually just handed me like a tin of makeup and said, like, here, just here. We'll save you having to ask me for it every 5 minutes. Oops. That's gonna have to be edited. That's gonna have to be edited there.
Trying hard not to. I'm from the Scottish borders. Everybody does nothing but swear.
I know, and like, this is a really strange thing because I've got a few American cosplayers booked, and I'm like, oh, I must remember not to swear. Damn it.
I don't know if you can hear this so well on camera. There's actually two guys outside my window who are shouting and bawling right now.
Oh, we can't hear them. That's fine.
That's good. I'm slap bang in the middle of like, I'm actually like right across the road from the job centre, so there's like a lot of winos. It's like two folk are like angry and like shouting abuse like all the time. So not so bad once you get used to it.
When you're doing when you're doing a cosplay event like MCM and Collectomania, and then there's the little local ones as well. Well, local to Glasgow anyway. Yeah. Which of the two of them do you prefer? Because like there's a very different definition between the two. Like the local ones, it's more social, and it's kind of togetherness. Whereas the bigger ones, it's like everywhere, and they're celebrities, and people are running around screaming and yada yada yada.
There's a few things I do agree on that. Like the bigger ones, like they are more jam-packed and stuff. But I met a lot of my best friend stuff at the bigger events, things like that. So I felt a lot more social at those. But I actually met my girlfriend in April last year at Edinburgh Comic Con, and that was like a massive event, just like crowded full of people and things like that.
Does she
I guess it all depends on the people I interact with.
Awesome. Does she cosplay your girlfriend?
Yeah, she does, yeah. But, she actually goes by Quinn B Cosplay. You've probably heard of her stuff. very passionate about cosplay and stuff. She's mostly famous for Harley Quinn, but at MCN last year when I was doing Scarlet Witch, which we didn't plan on it being a couple's cosplay. It was like pure coincidence.
That's awesome because you mentioned your Facebook, and I did happen to see you dressed as Magneto, and there was somebody next to you at one point who was the Scarlet Witch, and I was going to ask you who did the Scarlet Witch, because
she was the comic
awesome.
book version as well. But it was quite fun because I had a lot of Scarlet Witch cosplayers and a lot of Quicksilver cosplayers running up to me that day, going "Daddy" and hugging me. I think my two favourite quotes of that day were "Copyright won't keep us apart forever, Father." And the second favourite one was when someone ran up to me and said, "It's Magneto. He even looks like Michael Fassbender." So.
Oh, that's great.
I think compared to one of the sexiest men alive, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is great. So, obviously that's something that was really exciting for you. When you're off at these events, what is one of the most nerve-wracking things for you, or one of the things that used to be the most nerve-wracking?
Probably just waiting in the queue outside to get in. Because I think, especially if I'm wearing makeup and stuff, I'm just like, oh god, I hope the weather holds up. All it takes is like a 5-second downpour, and then suddenly you basically go from the Joker to like the Crow in about 5 seconds, and then.
Well, but that's a really good cosplay. Like, I don't know whether you were at one of the more recent local ones, but I actually met a really good artist called Al. A recent one at the Trades Hall in Glasgow, and he was dressed as a crow when I first met him, and I was like, "Oh, your makeup is so awesome, dude!" And I was like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I just stood outside. I just stood outside in the rain for like 5 minutes." I was like, "Oh, well, that's handy."
It is alright as long as I was wearing black and stuff. If I'm the Crow with purple, then people just think, weirdest crossover ever. But I guess another one of the nerve-wracking things is like sometimes when I go to cons, I don't bother like meeting like the famous people because I'm mostly just there to have fun and hang out with my friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. But whenever there's a famous person that I've like admired for a long time, I'm nervous about approaching them because they're like, okay, don't say anything creepy, don't tell them you're a fan because they've heard that. Just like, be normal.
Do you know the one thing that really scared me? The first Comic-Con I went to was Collectomania in 2015, and Robert Englund was there. And no, it's not what you think. I didn't actually meet him face to face or talk to him. But you know how they call the celebrities up on stage to do a panel? Well, you'll know how big the Braehead Arena is. It is massive.
That's pretty big.
And I was on one end of the hall. So I was like very close towards the exit, trying to find a seat on the little kind of runway that they do. And they said, we'd now like to welcome to the stage, over the tannoy, they were like, we'd now like to welcome to the stage Robert, and then the crowd just like erupted, like I absolutely just like jumped 10,000 miles out of my skin. I thought somebody had been killed, and then realised what had happened. But my heart was like still pounding after it. I was like, my God, people. So yeah, that was an interest. When you've been at these events, have you entered any and all of the cosplay competitions?
I think the only cosplay competition I did enter was at Edinburgh Comic Con, but that was me and my friends went there as a group cosplay. I think I was dressed up as an Arkham Asylum security guard, which that was another one where no one else cosplayed as it, so I felt. And my other friend dressed as Hugo Strange, although it's quite funny because a lot of people thought he was James Bond because he was wearing tux. And yeah, another pal, Blair, he was dressed up as the Joker. So like, we had like, like the opening scene of the Arkham Asylum video game when Joker like elbows the guard in the face and then we basically decided to reenact that. Only problem is we didn't know which side of the stage to go off. So the stairs are over there. We're trying to exit off this other way past all these wires and like things. So yeah, what should have been a 30-second sketch and then off ended up becoming like 3 minutes of us like trying to get off the stage.
Fumbling about the stage.
But that wasn't so bad. Like we got a good laugh, and everyone's all like, "Oh man, you guys are like so funny, you're amazing," things like that. And it did lead to a lot. There were actually quite a lot of shenanigans that me and my pal got up to as Guard and Joker that day.
Awesome. While you've actually been entered in these kind of competitions, have you ever won anything? And what was running through your head if you did?
I think me and my girlfriend, we were down at Wigan Comic Con in December, and we came second place in a cosplay contest as Joker and Harley. And I think the only reason that we came second was because I thought it'd be funny to steal the microphone off of the guy and do like this big massive Joker laugh that basically made the entire room go silent, and then I got a slow clap because apparently it was like the most impressive Joker laugh they'd heard all day. I guess what was going through my head was just like, oh, well, what do you know? I eventually won. I'm one of those guys who's like 2 months. I very rarely win things in my life, so I'm just like, yeah, I won. But it was definitely a group effort though, so I let my girlfriend keep the trophy.
Oh, that's nice. I remember doing something similar, and I actually won, and it was the first time I'd ever won anything in my life, and it was actually during a Halloween event, and I did a patchwork. Well, I just finished. I don't know why I was watching this at Halloween, but I not long ago finished watching The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Great film.
I know, and I thought I still have this Harley outfit that I made. And I kind of want to use it again. So I thought, okay, how can I change that up? So I just did a kind of mix between Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas and a Harley, and it turned out really, really well. So well, in fact, that I actually got an award for it. I won a prize. I was like, me? But the competition that I was up against, I was like looking at each one going, oh my god, there's no way that these people are not going to win something. Here's me in my redone outfit, yeah, I'm not going to win anything. And then I did, and I was like, oh my god. Complete shock.
I don't enter contests like with the intent to win and stuff. I mostly love to take in part, but whenever I do win, I get like a really good feeling. And man, all these like amazingly talented folk, and like they chose me. Oh my god, yay!
I like to say that I'm kind of similar as well. Like I'll enter it for the fun of it because that's what you do. Speaking on the fun of things, you mentioned earlier about people running up to you when you're dressed as Magneto. Do you have a similar reaction with children, like young children, when you see them?
Yeah, but it's always the kids' reactions that are the best ones, or even their parents' reaction stuff. Because I had this little kid run up to me. I think he was dressed as Wolverine, and it was all like, I was like, "Don't try take over the world, Magneto, because it's not nice."
Oh, oh.
It's especially funny going like, if you couldn't control magnets, I would cut off your legs. So having that kind of like back and forth battle between kids and stuff, because like they're so sweet and innocent. Because it's especially good because to kids, like I'm not just some weirdo like wearing a costume, because that's what a lot of their parents think I am. Now, like to the kids and stuff, I am just this character who's come out of the comic pages and things like that. It's so sweet.
I think like the sweetest interaction I've had, there's been two for me. I'd just taken a picture again at Collectomania, or I should call it by its actual name. It's like the Film and Comic Con convention now.
That one.
That one. I'd just taken a picture with a guy dressed as the Joker, and this dad and his son were offside watching us getting a picture taken, and the dad came up to me and said, "Do you mind if my son gets a picture taken with you guys?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure, I don't mind, go ahead." And then kind of realised, hey, I'm not the only person who's getting a picture taken here. and said to the guy dressed as the Joker, "Do you mind?" And he's like, "Oh, no, 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 go ahead." So we posed with the kid, and it's like the best thing ever for him. He smiles so much, and I was lucky enough to see him again later in the same day. And he actually went like, "Dad, Dad, look, there's Harley." And I was like, "Hi." The other interaction was at Halloween when there was a little kid, like, I don't know, like a little baby who was in a pram, and because I had my, like, horror makeup on, I was so scared that I was gonna, like, scare this kid. So I'm, like, going up towards the kid, and I just kind of like, "Hello," at his little hand, and I'm like, the whole time I was doing that, I was like, "Please don't cry, please don't cry, please don't cry." But he was good. He just sat and laughed, and I think that is awesome, you know. And then there's the people who see you in the streets when you're in cosplay. If you're having to, like, walk anywhere in cosplay, that reaction is great as well. Because, like, some people will just stare, and other people will be like,
I've had, like, a lot of people stare at me, especially while I'm wearing capes and stuff. And I think I was walking through Waverley Station once. I had a whole ton of people just, like, hurling abuse at me and stuff, like going, "Oh, you're wearing capes, you freak, you pervert." I'm just like, how's that perverted, mate? What are you on? But then, like, you see, like, other folk stuff, like, you'll just see, like, some miserable wee kid who's sitting there being told off by his mum, and then suddenly Magneto walks past him and it just made his day. But, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned scary makeup and things, whenever I post pictures on Facebook, I usually get, like, a message from my mum going, "Oh, you're not going to a con like that, are you? You'll terrify the wee kiddies." I'm just like, well, not really. I mean,
have you seen some of the makeup the kids wear?
Exactly. Like, hell, like most of these characters, like, years ago, most of these characters were made specifically for kids. Like, kids love these characters. Like, kids love to be scared. Like, that's why it didn't really make any sense for Disney to refuse to release The Nightmare Before Christmas under their own banner. They released it under Miramax. Because, you know, like, kids love to be scared.
It's actually part of life, being scared, so...
Exactly.
There you go, Disney. It's part of life.
Exactly. I'm trying to say that for years. Like, same with the makers of Coraline, who wanted to make it like a 12. And it's like, no, it's a kid's book. And so obviously the kids film. Yeah.
So my next question would be, in your opinion, what are the best and worst things a new person can do when prepping to do cosplay?
I reckon... I guess probably the worst thing to do is worry about, like, detail, because I think quite a lot of my friends are, like, guilty of this and stuff, like, but they worry so much about, like, tiny little insignificant details. Like, I had a friend who, I basically almost fell out of this, because we had an argument going, like, "Oh, there should be 4 dots along here, but I've put on 5, and now I can't remove this one, and people are going to judge." I'm just like, nobody's going to judge over that, like, tiny detail and stuff. Or, like, especially, like, my friend goes, like, "I would cosplay Superman, but I don't really have the body type for that," and stuff. I'm just like, nobody's going to care. So I reckon that's always something that annoys me when people just fuss over, like, the tiniest little, like, insignificant details. I'm not 7 feet tall, and nor am I Irish or, like, the most good-looking man in the universe, but yet I still cosplayed as Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
There you go.
I also don't have third-degree burns, and yet I'm still cosplaying as Doctor Doom this February at Capital Sci-Fi Con. So that's a little bit of placement for them. I reckon the best thing they can do is just, like, pick a character that you're passionate about and that you absolutely know that you're going to love, and then just, like, pour your all into it, pour your as much energy as you can into it. But definitely, like, don't go crazy and stuff. Like, you know, if you find yourself getting knackered, then just, like, take a break, and that's the important thing.
You mentioned about body type there. Do you think body types is, like, important to certain cosplays, or is it really something that people shouldn't worry about at all?
In my own opinion, it's something that people really shouldn't worry about. Stuff like my girlfriend especially, she's always like, "Oh, if I look like this, then I would cosplay that." I'm just like, well, why does it matter if you don't look like that? Because again, like, when people say, "Oh, I'm not really muscly enough to play Superman," I'm like, to be honest, nobody's muscly enough to play Superman, because comic books and stuff like that, they aren't drawn with realistic proportions in the first place. I mean, like, to actually get to Superman muscle level like he is in the comics, you'd have to take steroids pretty much every day since you were an embryo and stuff like that. So I reckon some people, like, worry too much. Like, and, like, even if you're like Stitch Finn and you're cosplaying as Bane, like, I'm personally not going to judge you, because I know it's a character that you love and you're passionate about. So I say just cosplay is whatever makes you happy, and don't care about what your body type is. Like, you see folk cosplaying as Gimli from Lord of the Rings, and yet they're all like 8 feet tall. Which is actually kind of funny because John Rhys Davies, the actor who plays Gimli himself, was the tallest member of the cast playing it.
I always thought that was really funny because, like, you look at him on screen when it's like a screenshot of everyone like full bodied, and Gandalf is actually like supposed to be the tallest member of the Fellowship, and
played by 5 foot tall Ian McKellen.
I know, and you can tell that he's been elevated a little bit to make him look that little bit bigger. And then you look at Gimli, and he's like somewhere between like Aragorn and Boromir, and then the hobbits. And then I remember him actually saying in an interview that he is the tallest member of the Fellowship, and I was like, then why the hell didn't they have him playing a body double for Gandalf? Because that would have worked.
It's crazy the way things work out.
So yeah, body type, it's not important, people. Sorry, papers going everywhere.
I do go to the gym sometimes whenever I'm not because I feel pressured to do it or something, just because it's something that I generally do anyway. It's like my girlfriend's always saying like, oh, you're always going on about body type and stuff, yet you go to the gym constantly so you can get in shape for cosplay. It's like, well, I'm not getting in shape for cosplay, I'm just getting in shape because I like to get in shape. And then also, the reason I go out running quite a lot is I plan to cosplay the Reverse Flash, so my friend's cosplaying as Flash. We're going to stage a race, and I'm determined to win. So yeah, that's the only...
Will that be getting filmed by any chance?
Probably, yeah, because we're going to step outside and stuff. Like, we're going to make sure that it'll be like okay to do it and stuff, because we don't want to like, get in trouble or hurt anybody.
Okay,
yeah, well, a massive big crowd and stuff, someone will film it, it'll end up on YouTube. Like, my friend pretty much films everything.
Definitely let me know if that happens, because like, I will so repost that, and I'll post it on i-gameonline. i-gameonline.net for all of your fun cosplay stuff. Shameless plug there for the website.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it, thanks for that. I think we're aiming to try and make it happen by MCM Glasgow September of this year. But it all depends on what our financial situations are and if I can afford to like do Reverse Flash there, because that one is going to be quite pricey. And it's also going to be quite a hard one to do because I'll be doing a lot of running as well. I think I'll have to incorporate like trainers and running shoes into it because I'm not going to. I refuse to wear big heavy boots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I run it, I'll just break my ankle.
That will be an interesting one to see, and I hope that I can get to that particular Comic-Con so that I can see that happen in person, and maybe even film it in person. If I'm there, there is every chance it'll get done as part of a live stream. So, yeah.
Well, we will. We're also saying stuff that if there's any guys dressed as like Superman, Speedy Gonzalez, Quicksilver, like even any other Flashes, then they're more than welcome to join us and stuff. It's mostly just like safety issues that we'd be worrying stuff, such as just be wary of other folk walking about who aren't going to see.
Okay.
The last thing we want is to get sued for breaking some guy's ankle just for being silly. It's funny, me and my friend actually did get... I say got into trouble, we got a telling off by the police one time for our cosplay antics, because as I said earlier, I was dressed as an Arkham Asylum security guard and he was the Joker, and at the end of Edinburgh Comic Con we thought it would be funny if I dragged him out of the con in handcuffs and then he'd elbow me and he'd run away. And we did that, and everybody clapped, we got like a big standing ovation, everyone thought it was really funny. And then when we were walking back to my flat, because you walk past the Royal Mile on the way past there, so we thought it'd be funny to go up there, because all the street performers were like up there anyway, so we could easily get away with it there. We got a big clap, and we got filmed by like loads of folk running around. We decided to do it one more time, and then my friend decides to take a shortcut through Waverley Station. So again, we would have gotten away with it, but because we were getting such a big applause and stuff, people like shouting and screaming, think it was hilarious. Around the whole station 4 times. When really what we should have done is run around it once and then run off again. But then eventually the police just like started, okay, look, you two are idiots, don't do it again. But I think the reason we didn't get charged with breach of the peace was because it was getting quite late in the afternoon, so it was obviously like nearing.
You were mentioning about the shoes there for doing a Flash, Reverse Flash. Have you ever had to make your own kind of custom props?
Uh, make props completely from scratch. Not like props or anything. I guess the most kind of custom I've ever done would be Magneto's helmet here, because I'm not sure how well you can see this on camera. But, yeah, that's a replica of the helmet from X-Men: Days of Future Past, which that I bought on the internet. And I ordered it in red, but for some reason they gave me a green one. Yeah, I'm just as confused as you are. So in the end, I thought, well, that's kind of how I decided to do like the more kind of comic book color. Because when I spray painted it red, it was like so bright and colorful. I thought, well, why don't I just work with that? So I painted all the little purple bits on it, and in the end, I feel like it actually worked a lot better than doing the more kind of rusted red movie version. 'Cause that's one thing that annoys me about the X-Men movies, is that no one's allowed to have any colors. Like, it's all like black and grey and like dark red to make it all like edgy and stuff, and that just annoys me.
Do you know why that is?
I think on the special features of the first X-Men film, Bryan Singer said that he thought the costumes looked goofy, so he thought, like, give them all black leather or something.
There's two reasons why we see a lot of leather and dark colours. One, because if you do like the original kind of colour scheme, it does look a little goofy on certain actors. Two, is because like dark colouring is easier from a filming standpoint. You can pick certain things up a lot easier on a dark coloured costume than what you would be able to on a light coloured costume. Like, if you were wearing Wolverine's bright yellow with slightly black bits like there, and I had to shoot you in the shoulder, the only thing that we would really see is the blood, or what should be the blood, coming like right out. So that's like an immediate colour patch of red. If you're wearing black and I shot you, you would get the immediate effect, but still it would take longer for it to pick up, and sometimes that's what you need in a cinematic kind of viewpoint. But, you know, who doesn't look good in leather?
Especially if you're Hugh Jackman.
Or Famke Janssen?
Or Famke Janssen, yeah.
Or even Halle Berry?
Yeah, exactly.
But then Halle Berry had her very own leather issue when it came to doing Catwoman.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof of leather.
Yeah, just like I really hope someone got fired for that film. Like, in my opinion, Catwoman is worse than Batman and Robin. Whereas at least I knew that was a Batman movie that I was watching. When I was watching Catwoman, I was just like, this isn't anything. Like, this is not like Catwoman.
I have to admit, like, I've seen the movie. I own the movie, but then I'm a die-hard Catwoman fan. I even have the video game that came out for the Catwoman movie on the PS2. And I will say this: if you do not like the movie, that's fine. A lot of people don't. But play the video game, because the video game has a better storyline than the movie.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And the funny,
I don't like the film, but I don't judge other people for liking it, because if we all had the same opinion, we'd all be pretty boring. Mm-hmm. We probably wouldn't even interact with anybody, because yep, I know your name, I know your favorite film, because it's exactly the same as all of mine. So there you go.
I do think that they tried with that script. Like, somebody should be shot for the script on Catwoman, and they should be shot for the outfit, because I've seen Catwoman wear some weird things, but she would never wear something like that.
Yeah.
Never.
A part of me kind of feels that was some guy's like weird kind of Catwoman fan fiction that he accidentally leaked to an agent, and then they just happened to like it enough that they made it a film.
I still think that I don't know whether you'll have ever seen it, but have you ever seen the Razzies speech that Halle Berry did for Catwoman?
I did see that. I love that video.
I think that's hilarious, and like, if nobody's seen that's watching this interview right now, go to YouTube and type in the Catwoman Razzie speech, or the Halle Berry Razzie speech. and I think it's great of Halle Berry to do something like that. Like she stands there, takes her licks. Like I would laugh uncontrollably if somebody did that at a Comic-Con event where they had cosplayers go up on stage and maybe accept the equivalent of what would be a Razzie for cosplay. Like, would you ever have fun with something like that?
Definitely, as long as it wasn't like a real actual award, it was just like a mid-take thing. Cause, I always see you mentioned a worst cosplay award and stuff like. I always see these like top 10 lists of worst cosplays, and I always feel that's kind of unfair. I know that costumes and art and stuff is subjective, what one person likes another person isn't, but you take a look at a lot of stuff where a guy's made an Iron Man suit out of craft paper and sellotape and stuff. People go, oh, it's so rubbish. And just well, yeah, it's supposed to look rubbish. Look at the guy's expression. He's clearly having a laugh. But yeah, I think if I was nominated for a worst cosplay award, well, at first it would probably be a huge knock to my ego. I'd probably get up on stage and have a right laugh. Going, yeah, that's right, I'm the worst Doctor Doom you've ever seen, but hey, did you see Fant Four Stick? Of course you didn't. Only 4 people did, and it sucked.
So we were talking there about worst cosplays and such likes. What do you think has been the most popular cosplay for 2015?
Popular cosplay for time. Probably Suicide Squad Joker and Harley.
Awesome.
And I think probably more so in favor of Suicide Squad Harley being the popular one because not everyone. A friend of mine did Suicide Squad Joker, and he had the full tattoos. He used it basically as an excuse to walk around shirtless, because he's got a hot bod, and well, he says he's got a hot bod anyway. But he had all the tattoos because again, I've got a friend who's a makeup artist, so she did all of that for him. But basically, if I had a quid for every time I saw a Suicide Squad Harley, I'd have a fair amount of cash right now. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because, it shows that people looking forward to the film. I'm looking forward to the film, and I will probably cosplay a Suicide Squad Harley when the film comes out. I'm
going to say this. If I had a quid for every time I seen a Harley this past year, I'd be very rich indeed. That first Comic-Con that I went to alone, even though I was dressed as, a male Harley, I seen so many other Harleys, every step I took, there'd be a Harley somewhere. And that's before I even looked in the mirror. Poison Ivy seemed walking around quite a bit this year as well. Did you see many Poison Ivies?
I did see quite a lot of Poison. I think MCN, because Arkham Knight had just come out, I saw quite a lot of Jason Todd's. Which is probably why on the Saturday I kind of went about fairly unnoticed because I was one of about 30 odd Jason Todd characters around. Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, I think it all really depends on what's come out at the time. So the first Comic-Con I went to, I think back in 2014, I think Frozen had just come out, so almost every second person was Olaf or Elsa or Anna. It's also quite funny because I went to that Comic-Con as Fred from Scooby-Doo, and a lot of people came up to me and said, "Are you not cosplaying?" And it's I'm Fred! Look at the scarf!
We were talking about children and their reactions earlier on, and you mentioned about doing a hospital visit for children as Gaston. Is that something that you do quite commonly? Do you cosplay towards a certain age group, or...
Whenever I'm making I kind of cosplay. I just generally think, right, what character do I want to do, and how do I want to do it and stuff, and how much fun can I have while doing it? I think when I was making Magneto here, the only person I really had in mind was myself, and then as soon as I finished it, I just kind of started thinking about people's reactions to it later. I guess when I was making it, my fear was just well, yeah, you'll be Magneto, but there'll be some other bigger, better Magneto who's got a more iconic or accurate costume or something like that. But, I guess generally, kids' reactions are always my favorite, as I mentioned earlier, because again I am the character for them. But
how do you feel when the parents have a reaction to what a child would when you're in costume? Like, have you ever had like a parent be more excited and act like a child when they see you in costume over the actual child itself?
I did have that. Like once again, like Magneto's today is my most popular cosplay. I think while I was walking around MCM and stuff, I had this guy who must have been about like 50 odd years old run up to me, hug me, and go, "Magneto, you were just my all-time favorite character. Can I please have your autograph?" So while I'm like signing this guy's book and stuff, his two kids are sitting there, like they're probably about like 10 or something. They're just going, "Dad." Like the kids even came up and apologized for their dad. I'm so sorry about him and stuff. He's doing this all day. It's so embarrassing.
See, I've never actually had that, but I probably would just react in the same way. I'd be like, okay, here's my signature.
Yeah, it's just like it's especially fun. Like when occasionally you will have people run up for cosplay autographs, and it's fun thinking up things to write in character. I think as Magneto, I wrote "Sniveling Homo sapien, bow before me, the master of magnetism." Eric Wencher.
Awesome. So how do you react when you have like parents running up to you like that?
Pretty surprised sometimes, because especially when they've got like young kids and the adults are like more excited and stuff. Like it's a big surprise, but at the same time you get like a really good feeling and stuff because people are reacting like positively and stuff. Like I've still to run into like ultra like super negative people and stuff who like nitpick at the tiniest things. But yeah, I think just seeing all the positive reaction and stuff like that makes you feel kind of tingly.
Awesome. So what are like the top 5 funniest things that ever have happened to you when at a Comic-Con or in cosplay?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the getting told off by the police for being an idiot for running through Waverley Station. Top 5 funniest things. As I mentioned earlier, again, walking around Glasgow as Fred from Scooby-Doo, and everyone going like, "Oh, he's not even cosplaying." Like, the scarf, it's bright orange. Why else would I wear it, stupid?
It's because you didn't have a dog with you.
Yeah, probably, yeah, or just anything else. I guess the other one is just... for a laugh, I decided to, because it was the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I walked around dressed up as John Constantine. And again, having this grown man in his 60s just run up to me going, "You John Constantine?" And deciding to stick on the Liverpool accent, going, "What's it look like, mate? Of course I am." It's like leaving it there, and he's completely dumbfounded. So either drunk and thinking comic book characters have come to life, or just like not expecting to see like cosplayers running around during the Fringe of all places.
Since you actually brought up the subject of Constantine, now I don't know whether you'll mind me actually saying this or not, but your Skype picture as you dress as Constantine, not a very well-known character.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people think that I'm Castile from some manga that I've never read or heard of. I think it's Death Note, is it?
The Castiel and Supernatural, which is like a TV show with oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name of the actors. How terrible is that?
Jensen Ackles or something.
Yes, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins is the Castiel character. I like when I seen your Skype picture before you even kind of like said to me I'm dressed as Constantine. I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's one awesome Constantine picture, because I think you've got the same one on your Facebook.
Yeah, like Constantine was one of the first like cosplays that I started like doing after. That's when I really started getting into cosplay about 16, 17, because Constantine was something easy to make because I just happened to have a red tie and a shirt and stuff. Yeah, like everyone always remembers their first, as they say. So.
What kind of things did you do with Constantine? Did you do any of, like, you mentioned you did the accent, and in the picture you've got I'm hoping it's a fake cigarette.
Some of them it's a fake cigarette, but my older brother smokes like a chimney, and he happened to be around one day, so I just nicked a couple off of him and stuff. But I'd never actually liked them and stuff.
Did you ever do like, because I don't know whether it's like a comic book image or whether it was an image done with the recent TV show, where he lights his hands on fire. Did you
I
ever do anything that
Yeah,
was?
I did have a pose like that and stuff, where I basically was standing up against a black wall. I photoshopped New York into the background, and then I very badly photoshopped some fire into my hands and stuff with the caption, "I'm not the nicest bloke you'll ever meet, but I do my best." Not the
Oh,
best
that's,
accent in the world, but
that's
yeah,
awesome.
whenever I'll say it out loud.
I'm just going to say this: if the guy who's currently playing Constantine, I think his name is Matt Ryan,
Yep, that's better.
ever goes down, we know who can replace him for just a couple of hours a week.
Oh, technically.
Um, so, what has been something that you didn't expect to happen while you've been in cosplay or at an event that's or what is well I'm going to try and structure this question better because that was horribly structured. Um, what is one thing that you've gotten out of cosplay that you'd never expected to get out of it?
Um, to sound like a cheesy 90s high school film, probably just a lot of new friends and that. I think, 'cause, again,
Awesome.
at Edinburgh Comic Con, I think I was dressed as I was dressed as Deathstroke on the Saturday and the Arkham Security Guard on the Sunday, and I was there with two friends stuff, and I just made like more friends that day and stuff. I met my pal David that day, and I even met my girlfriend there. So I definitely never expected that to happen, and it was just because they all thought I was just this fun-loving guy and stuff. Because I'm in costume and stuff, so I can have a laugh and I can like be in character and things like that. And I think V said, yeah, like any man who runs through Waverley Station dressed as an armed security guard is bound to be fun. So,
Um,
so definitely just cosplay has done a lot for my self-esteem as well. So because a couple of years back I was like really really shy, really awkward and stuff, like really really depressed all the time. And just as I started like getting more and more into the cosplay scene, it just kind of boosted my confidence because I met all these people I had so much in common with who actually wanted to talk to me and a common interest with who I could meet up with and have a laugh with, and it definitely was something I'd never experienced before, so that was a great thing.
awesome. Has cosplay has doing cosplay opportunities that you never expected, like voice acting opportunities or filming opportunities?
Um, I have appeared in quite a lot of people's cosplay music videos because whenever folk are like at cons and stuff, they'll approach people and just ask if they'll do like a dance or something.
Hmm.
As far as acting goes, I've not like been signed on with any major agencies or anything, but I have like joined a lot of groups who are like constantly making cosplay meetups. I think definitely the charity visit. Had I not started cosplaying, that never would have happened and stuff. And I plan to do a lot more of those in the future, so I feel that's opened up a whole new door for me. Um, I guess just really just the opportunities to actually just like meet people, like have a laugh, maybe do some filming. And I've been doing a lot more writing. I know that much and stuff, and I've been like auditioning, right? And I never would have started writing and auditioning pieces for various companies had I not started cosplaying and just getting the chance to meet all these folk.
Well, that's awesome. Um, my last question would be, what advice would you give to somebody who would like to cosplay but is really kind of unsure of where to start?
Uh, Um, advice. Well, I would say start how I started, but I guess not everyone's mum is going to give them a Spider-Man costume for Christmas. Uh,
Well, you never know. We've just
oh
had
yeah, never
Christmas.
know. Really, I guess the best way to start cosplaying, really, pick up a comic book, look at a character, like just watch a film, just and if you feel, you know what, I want to be like that character, just start thinking from there, because that's how the creative process starts. You know, you look at a character, you go, I want to be that character. Let's see how I can go about that. But I guess my granny always used to say, you know, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the even if your World of Warcraft cosplay didn't turn out like 100% accurate to the game, then you'll still have something unique, something that's yours that you can be proud of. So, yeah, so in the end, just like, do what makes you happy, start however you feel comfortable with, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.
Awesome. So this is the part of the interview where I would like to hand over to Jim, Jim-Rose even, and ask him, are you part of any cosplay groups, movement, and where can our viewers get a hold of you if they have any further questions? What social medias do you use?
Well, I am part of a YouTube channel. We're called the Gotham Carnival, which you can find that. There's a particularly odd video of me dressed as the Joker, and I have a bright green beard.
Awesome.
Everybody loves Joker with a beard, so you'll probably see a lot more videos of that in the future. I've got a Facebook page, which if you just type Jim-Rose Cosplay into Facebook, then it's a picture of me with the Magneto helmet doing this. So, yeah, you can't really miss me there. I don't update it as much as I should, but I'll be posting like news and information stuff there. And I don't have any Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr like that as of yet. So.
Awesome. Well, in that case, unless there's anything else you want to add?
That's fine. Nope. Nothing.
Oh, well, I do have one final question for you. Can you let us in on 2 cosplays that you're going to do this year?
Yes, I can do that. Okay, I think, well, if any of you are coming to Capital Sci-Fi Con this year, you can, Doom. In fact, I can give a little teaser of that right now.
Ooh. An exclusive, people.
Yep.
There you go. Dr. Doom.
Yep, Dr. Victor Von Doom, who may or may not have the Burns makeup. So, that'll be something fun to look forward to. And I think it'll most likely be Edinburgh Comic Con of this year. You can keep your eye out for Deadshot, the version from Arrow.
Ooh, very nice. Well, I'd like to now take the time to thank Jim-Rosebud. I don't think it's Rosebud, but okay. Sorry. Jim Rose, sorry. For taking the time out and spending it with us and taking us through the land of cosplay. Hopefully I shall be back really soon with another interview with some other cosplayer. Until then, bye guys!